JourneyPure at the River was designed to help slow people down. Even if we're not using substances, life can be busy. And here at the River, we try to slow that down and allow people to connect to themselves and really remove as many distractions as possible. There aren't TVs here. People have limited access to their cell phones. People really are almost forced to connect to just the beautiful surroundings. People rise to the level of their environment and creating a beautiful environment where people can just feel calm, and it sends a message in terms of you're worthy. Really allows people to heal. We have patient care coordinators from the very beginning that ensure that whatever barrier exists, that's directly and immediately responded to. We make sure that people feel supported. It's incredibly difficult for somebody to get the treatment. It's incredibly terrifying. People are full of fear, and we know that, and we want to alleviate that and really make people as welcome as possible.
My team is the admissions coordinator, so they're the ones who are on the phone. You know, when a family calls in or a patient calls in, they're the ones that are, say, thank you for calling JourneyPure. This is David, how can I help you? The people who call us definitely have a mixture of education about both addiction and treatment. So for some people, they don't know a whole lot about addiction. Some people don't know a whole lot about treatment, and we're walking those people through, hand in hand through the entire process, educating them on addiction, educating them on what the different resources for treatment are. And then there are other people who are more educated on it. Maybe they've had a treatment experience in the past, or they're more familiar with addiction. And for those people, we're helping to educate them about who JourneyPure is and what makes JourneyPure a little bit different. Whether we can help them at JourneyPure or not shouldn't change the experience that the caller has when they're talking to one of our admissions coordinators. The reality is the majority of people who call us can't be served at JourneyPure, and we help them to find other resources. So that's the number one thing, is that I want that experience that the caller has on the call to be positive and similar across all calls, regardless of whether that caller ends up at JourneyPure or not.
I am the director of the clinical consultant team at JourneyPure, and what we do is we go into clinical settings and assess potential patients who may be appropriate for our services at JourneyPure. Our assessment takes into account what the patient's going through, what their history and background is, the trauma piece, the mental health piece, the addiction piece. And so it's a great starting point to get an idea of who this patient is and what they need. My goal and the goal of my team as clinical consultants is not to simply filter people to JourneyPure. The goal of my team is to complete an assessment and then refer to the most appropriate setting for the patient.
These men come in with the mindset of mistrust. They weren't in a place they could trust themselves, so it's hard to trust someone else. So when I'm doing my interview with them, initially I tell them, I understand you don't trust me right now. You don't know me from Adam, but you'll learn to trust me, because you'll see that in my endeavors I do have a true heart for you guys, because I've been where you've been. And after time, they learn to trust and learn to be trusted.
The two main arms of our treatment modality, and to put it very simply, are the evidence-based and the experiential. The evidence-based or scientific programming that we do involves an 8-week treatment curriculum. And our curriculum starts with evidence-based theories such as the internal family systems model, attachment theory, adverse childhood experiences and trauma, development of pathology, development of dysfunctional family roles. Then it morphs over into life skills, so codependency, relationships, communication, assertiveness. And from there we take it to tools for healthy living. So we teach people about various different therapeutic modalities that may be of value to them in moving forward. So we teach them about cognitive behavioral theory. We teach them about motivational enhancement and some of these other evidence-based approaches that are going to be useful for them as they transition into their continuing care phase. We're also big on the wellness model. Sleep, nutrition, and exercise, commonly accepted as the pillars of health, are very important to us. We don't want to send people out the door with a continuing care plan that involves going to 12-step meetings, getting a sponsor, and that's it. We really want to have a total wellness approach to this, and we want to give folks a true design for healthy living that's going to work for them long term to sustain success in recovery. The experiential arm of our treatment involves all the different various tools that we have as a benefit of our flagship property here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, called JourneyPure at the River. That involves equine therapy with our horses, adventure ropes coursework, yoga and mindfulness, fitness, trauma-informed art therapy, and many other experiential modalities that allow a patient to draw analogies between what is happening in front of them, what happens as part of the process of these experiences, and how that might fit with regard to comparison of different challenges, obstacles, and progress they might make in their real life.
This is the leap of faith. It's a jumping exercise. We ask the patient to climb up and stand on that platform and jump off and ring the bell, and I'll tell them, is there something you want to let go of? And that if you believe that you can leave it up there on that platform, that you can, and you will be, relieved of that, problem or thing that you're holding on to. When somebody comes into treatment, they kind of haven't been living in the moment, and this really helps them. When I have them do the exercise and then I have them recognize it, and I go, were you thinking about anything that you were going through while you were doing that? They're like, no, and I go, well, you can do that all the time. So it helps them to really understand that we don't have to worry about all this stuff, that we can kind of look and do what's in front of us. And this adventure stuff is great for that.
Every day I create, structure, and lead workouts for clients to build their bodies and minds to overcome addictions and mental health issue states. As well, I have one-on-one sessions with the clients to help them to transition with their staying here in treatment, as well as cleansing their body, purifying their body, and also we're rehabilitating any post or previous injuries that they may have here. The one-on-one sessions are set up through the primary therapist. What the primary therapist feel that they need, like for boxing example, like somebody just full of rage, they probably could suggest me do a boxing regimen with them to get them calmed down, release some of that rage. I just try to sweat them, purify them, let them know that, if you can get through this 45 minutes of intense training, that if you take this approach every day, that you can get through pretty much what you face on a day-to-day basis.
I do individual sessions and I do group sessions out here at the barn with the houses and some of our extended facilities. Sometimes when they first get here, we get comments like, I hate stinking horses, and I'm cleaning up the language. I don't want to be out here with these stinking horses. That we've had a huge success in people turning around and being horse fans, or statements like, I never thought a horse could help me in my recovery, and it's made the biggest impact so far. And so we don't take credit for that. We know it's the horse doing the work, and we're just here facilitating, but our guys are pretty spectacular. We're very proud of them.
Horses have been there for me my whole life. I know what they can do for me, so watching them work with other people and do for them what they've done for me is amazing.
We have the luxury of a 90-day IOP program. A lot of people come out of residential and they are raring to go, and they want to go ahead and rebuild their life and get a job tomorrow and go back to their regular house and maybe their parents. So they've got children and a spouse and all of it, and it's a lot. It's a lot to have all at once. At the IOP level, we really do try to sustain all of the holistic recovery pieces that were put in place when a client has been at the river or in one of our other residential programs. We are looking for that deep recovery. What I enjoy is helping them learn to do the hard work that they need to do and to guide them along the path without doing the work for them, because it means so much more when they're the ones who are engaging with it. So my goal is really to give them the tools that they need and then let them take it from there. It is really typical for people to become roommates even, move into apartments together, or definitely to meet up at 12-step meetings in the evenings and do a lot of social things together. That community begins to form usually at the IOP level when they do have the autonomy to choose how they're spending their evenings. So there's a lot of opportunity to meet people who came through the program that you came through, even if it wasn't at the same time. They get you, and that's important.
Typically when we talk about an alumni program, we think about engaging patients beyond treatment, but it really goes a lot further than that here at JourneyPure. It starts with the patient's having a great experience while they're here in treatment, because if they don't have a great experience, why stay engaged after treatment? The research we've done has showed is that having a great experience really starts with employees being happy. When you have happy employees, they provide great over-the-top service to patients, giving them a great experience, and then giving them reason to want to stay engaged beyond treatment. Without a doubt, the one thing that makes us completely stand out above everybody else is our coaching app. So we give everybody the time of day once a week for 52 weeks. I don't know of anywhere else that does that. I know of places that'll reach out kind of more of an arbitrary manner. Hey, let's make phone calls, let's talk to our alumni, but we're tracking our alumni's progress through an app. And if our alumni aren't engaging in the app, if they're not following their discharge plans through the app, if they're not logging into the app, we'll reach out to them and ask them why.
It's been said that we are wounded in isolation and we heal in community. Addiction is a disease of perception. And when you're out there and you're using, you feel like there is nobody around and your world gets really small. And it's a really sad thing. And what we do is we show you how big your world can be. And we give you the tools to live in that world. We are folks who are born, inexperienced, and driven by love. And that love is to help suffering people. And when you walk on our campus, you see it. I often hear people say, isn't it depressing or isn't it sad to do what you do? And it's not. I get to be right in the middle of hope every day. I get to sit right in the middle of it and see lives changed. And not everyone does, but for the ones that do, it's worth it. Business coaches and mentors and a lot of folks have always told me that at some point, I'm going to have to step away and stop taking calls from families. I'm going to have to let somebody else do that. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that. My family reached out to somebody and there was somebody on the other end of the phone. I've reached out on behalf of my family members and there was somebody there. There are very few competent people out there that know what to do about addiction. We're not born with an instruction booklet. So the fact that I know what to do, I feel like I have a responsibility, so I'm going to keep picking up the phone.